and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. As always, I'm joined by Kat and Alan. How are you both doing?
Yeah, good. Bit of a whirlwind week, but topped it off all wins, so can't be too bad.
Yeah. Alan?
Yeah, I'm doing good. An enjoyable afternoon out at Broadwood with some familiar faces, so all good to be in good company.
Perfect. Well, we have lots to talk about, so we'll just dive straight in. Kat, some disappointing news. We'll just start with that, and then we can get on to the good stuff. Megan Bell has left the club, and she's went to join Nottingham Forest. We kind of expected that she might go out, but maybe on loan. But for her to leave permanently is obviously quite disappointing.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get over it, to be honest. It's gutting. She wasn't getting any game time, so I understand from her point of view. She found a club, she wanted to go get game time, and she's already done that, so I don't blame her for that. But just disappointing she wasn't getting any game time with us. We could have rotated, given her some minutes, rested some other players, but it seems like Joe didn't like her, didn't like the way that she played, whatever it was, so she's away now. But hopefully later on down the line she'll be back once she gets more regular game time and progresses as a player. She's only young yet, so a lot of playing time left yet. So hopefully she'll come back, but it's gutting.
Yeah, she's only 23, so it's quite disappointing letting a young talented player go like that, because when she played she always gave her all, because it's obviously the club that she supports in that as well. So what did you think when you see the news?
Like Cara, I wasn't really surprised. I didn't think she'd go back out loan after going on loan to Hearts and then coming back and still finding she wasn't getting enough game time. I share the disappointment. We all adore Megan Bell, and she's one of us. She loves the club. She knows exactly what it's about, and she'll give everything for a jersey. But as you say, she's 23 years old. She really has to play, and very good at her career. I'm glad she's found a move and a team that wants her. Is hopefully going to give her a platform to go and develop further and build on what's been a good start to her career. And I'm sure we'll all keep a close eye on how Megan gets on at Nottingham Forest. And we are all obviously going to wish her all the best. And I've absolutely no doubt she'll get down there and make a big impact, and she'll be adored by the Forest fans.
Yeah, she did get a debut today, so obviously that's really good that she's already getting game time. And obviously, as Alan says, we wish her all the best. The club were looking to upset you even further, Car. As we said, Ailey Austin out on loan. She's away at Motherwell for the remainder of the season. So another one that was struggling to get game time. Obviously had a bit more than Megan Bell did, but still another promising player away on loan.
Yeah, I mean, initially the link wouldn't load when Motherwell put the tweet up. So I, sent some profanities into our group chat because I thought it was a permanent move and I genuinely was about to look for the nearest bridge. But thankfully it loaded eventually and I saw it was just a loan move, and then I was happy for her because hopefully she'll play regularly for them, get more game time. It's a bit annoying when you look at our backline, when obviously Raf's out at the moment due to the injury she sustained last week. We're one injury away from Test back in the back line, or one issue away from that, which did happen today, but not an injury, thankfully. So it's a bit annoying that way, but I get that she's going to sit on the bench most weeks, so if she's going to get more game time with Motherwell, I fully support it.
Yeah, and it's experience she needs, and Motherwell are doing quite well at giving her players experience, so I'm sure she'll go there and do really well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think Motherwell have shown that they're a really good club for developing their players, and they're really good at looking after our young players. We've seen Laura Berry go and be an absolute star there. Sophie Black's there and doing really well. So I think she scored again today. He said in a group chat and cup. So Motherwell are obviously going to do well. They're fighting to be in the top six, and it'll be a brilliant experience for Ailey. Ailey has played more for us this year than she did last year, and she had a loan spell before that at Hamilton. So, the more experience she can pick up, the better, and she'll be an asset to Motherwell. So, all the best to Ailey, and we'll see her back next season, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. She'll probably be really good for us next year once she gets all that experience. So, Kat, I could pick me up if we needed one. was the return of the one and only Laura Berry. And I think everybody possible was messaging you saying how happy you would probably be.
Yeah, I mean, I was crying on Thursday that Megan left, and then I was buzzing on Friday because Laura Berry was back. So the club really do put me through the ringer sometimes. But obviously, it's fantastic that she's back with the. Well, I'm sure I'll come on to the news that Sarah Ewan's injured again. So unfortunate for Sarah, but it means that Laura Berry's come back, and hopefully we'll get some game time because there's no point bringing her back to not use her. That would be a bit mental to do that, to be honest. But I'm just absolutely buzzing. Everybody knows how much I love Laura Berry. She really offers us a different striking threat than the players that we've already got at the club. She's got a lot of pace. She's not scared to run past defenders, whereas Wilco's more of a kind of stand in the area and wait for stuff, where Laura will do it herself kind of thing. So it's fantastic to have her back, and hopefully that's a sign that we want to give her these 6 months because she's going to be integral for us next season, and not just to bring her back because we need somebody else to sit on the bench and come on for 5 minutes here and there.
Yeah, I think Carol right if that happens.
I'll be fighting Joe.
Alan, obviously good that Laura Berry's back, and she's done so well for Motherwell this season. Is it 16 goals she's got in the league so far?
Yeah, I think it's 16 goals in total, including the one she scored for us. I think she scored 12 goals in 13 games for Motherwell, which is just ridiculous for somebody. I think she's still 17. So the experience she's picked up in the last year at Motherwell, in the start of the season when she was getting games for us and she played some Champions League playoff football. So, she's developed brilliant. She's now sort of a year and a half into the playing first team football. So, her confidence is just growing, and I really hope that, she's going to come back and get game time, because it makes no sense to see her playing every week at Motherwell, possibly doing damage in our favour if Motherwell will make the top 6 to come back and just sit and watch games. But as Car touched on, obviously that came in response to Sarah Ewan's being confirmed that has been out for possibly the next year. Sarah's obviously suffered a ruptured ACL, which is absolutely gutting for Sarah after she's fought so hard to come back after an ankle injury. So I think we'll all wish Sarah all the best for her recovery and hope it goes well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always an injury that we never want to hear a player getting, because you know how long the recovery is and how much it can kind of affect further injuries after they even come back. So no one that you want a player to ever get, but we wish obviously Sarah all the best.
Yeah, it's just horrific, isn't it, how often it happens in the women's game. I don't know what it is about it. I don't think she picked up in a game. It was in training, something happened and her ACL went, which is horrific to think that she's just been out for so long with an ankle injury, played, 2 games since then, and then is back injured again, going to be out for another year. It's just horrific. I can't imagine the toll it would take on her mentally to have to come back, but I have seen she's posted a few TikToks of her doing the rehab and whatnot, so hopefully the team are rallying around her and keep her in high spirits, and hopefully over the summer and everything it all goes well, and next season we'll see her back, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, Alan, not confirmed by the Rangers side of things, but Livingston did announce that Mia MacArthur has returned from her loan spell. Strange that obviously the club haven't announced it for our end, but probably not that surprising.
No, it's not entirely surprising. I believe all the loan players had loan review meetings over the course of this month, but no doubt coming them. Obviously, we're not going to know. So it's obviously been decided for whatever reason. It's best to end Mia's time at Livingston. She's enjoyed a lot of football there. And for the last few months of the season, she's either come back into our setup, or I think there's maybe still time for her to go elsewhere. So we'll see what happens with that. And I've not seen any more changes to the loans that have been confirmed by anybody. So we'll see if anything changes in the next few days.
Yeah, definitely. Kat, another interesting thing that happened this week was the release of the Fan Advisory Board's meeting with Donald Gillis. A few things that popped up. Firstly, we'll talk about potentially purpose-built stadium for the Glasgow teams?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. If there's obviously some drawbacks with having to potentially share a stadium with, would it be Partick, Queen's Park, Celtic, which not really for that, but I understand that if they want to build something purpose-built for the women's team so the national team can play there, holds hopefully, I think you said about 8,000 people, would be sold out then for most of the games, because at Hampden and for Park and for Hill, wherever else we played, it's not been great. It looks a bit ridiculous having 8,000 in such big stadiums. So I wouldn't be against it. I don't know where they would build it, is my only thing. I don't really can think of anywhere in Glasgow where they would be able to build something that big. And obviously it would take all clubs working together to put the money for it to make it happen. But obviously that's a years down the line thing. But it's nice that they're thinking about it and they are wanting to be proactive about that kind of thing. But I don't know, it takes some getting used to sharing a stadium, I think.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it? Obviously, the fixture scheduling was also kind of brought up, which kind of would tie into the stadium as well, which will be further down the line, but still, it would probably be more Friday games happening, and then obviously like a couple of games on the Sunday. So, what was your thoughts on that being brought up?
It's always good to see the club are conscious of the fixture clashes. It's something we know they've worked on. Donald spoke a lot about that before. I'm not sure why it's taken 6 weeks for these notes to come out when the meeting was held in the middle of December, and it's only been released this week. I'm not sure if there's a reason behind that sort of time delay, but in terms of any sort of purpose-built stadium, the revenue is not there for the women's team alone to spend that money. It's going to have to be some sort of multi-use stadium. And however that's shared, it'll remain to be seen. I don't think it's palatable for support to share with the other side of the city, but there are plenty of teams who could make use of it. Even if you look across codes and look at Glasgow Warriors, totally changing sport, but Scotstoun's not the most fan-friendly stadium. Surely they'd benefit, but would their needs meet what we would need? Quite possibly not, but Donald's talking about making sure it's got a grass pitch, and then having 4 games a weekend maybe, which is a lot for a pitch to hold up to. It will be very interesting to see. Donald mentioned in that fan advisory meeting, many of the issues we'll all talk about at Broadwood, and will usually be on the responses to the fan engagement emails after each game. So, I think Broadwood's been good for the growth of the team, but the fan sort of attendance would grow more if it was more Glasgow based and closer to Ibrox.
Yeah, Kath, there was also another interesting point about Donald mentioning Rangers TV, which is a drum we have been beating for a very, very long time about why they're not utilising that. And I think he's kind of questioned that as well, eventually, as we're halfway through this season. But it would be something that obviously fans ask for every single week if the games are on Rangers TV or on TV in general. People want the games, people are willing to pay for the games. So good that he's mentioned it, but we'll see if it actually comes to any fruition.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit mental that it's taken him coming in for it to be brought up. Like, surely that's a conversation that's happening all the time, because we did it before. Fair enough, we were at the training centre, so it was all set up and ready to go all the time, but it can't be that hard to fling a couple of cameras up. Doesn't need to be commentated, you can just put it up, even play music over it if you want to play the sounds from the stadium, if that's maybe an issue. I don't know, but it can't be that difficult, so I don't know why they've not done it. But at least Donald's asking the questions. He's very proactive with that kind of thing, which is nice to see. We finally got somebody in that cares enough about the women's team to want to get things done, and maybe it'll shut us up from moaning about it every week. But yeah, it's good to see. Hopefully we can get something like that sorted, but I don't think it'll be this season. Hopefully it's a next season kind of thing. We can get that sorted.
Yeah, it makes sense when Rebecca's standing recording the game anyway, so how hard could it be just to kind of plug it something else in to stream it to the world?
Well, hopefully not too hard. Given most of the clubs in the league, are able to stream it on their YouTube channels, that it must be achievable, and I don't see if other clubs can do it, why we won't be able to do it. And say, well, if no TV company's picked up this game, then we're going to show it on our TV. We've got our own club TV platform. We've got the facility to do it. I'm pretty sure we've got the talent in the club to do it. In terms of all the media teams. So it's a no-brainer to me. You charge £2 to watch the game live. People can watch it for free on a 24-hour delay. You get people watching. You get people paying a couple of pound to watch it live, and it'd be more income to the club. Further helping the women's team be that bit closer to self-sufficient.
Yeah, which is exactly what they're wanting, so that would really help. Another piece of news, Joe's red card overturned. Surprisingly, when we got told different from aforementioned Donald. But anyway, it's good that common sense has prevailed and it's been overturned, so she won't face any suspension.
Yeah, mental. Maybe people should just keep quiet till the club announce things, but then would they have done that? I don't know. It's mental that it was given in the first place, but we don't need to rehash that. I'm glad that common sense did eventually prevail and it got rescinded, and hopefully that's a sign that that's not a thing, that you don't get a red card for picking a ball up and holding it. But she did look reluctant today to pick any balls up that came near her, so maybe she's just got a very stern warning that the next time you do it will be a red card. So that's the case, but thankfully she won't miss any games.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a running joke now that we would have been sitting and be like, don't touch the ball, Joe. Anyway, that's all that the news wrapped up. We will get on to today's game. We're in Scottish Cup action, 4th round, and we were facing Montrose. The team that started was Fife, Docherty, Eddie, Hill, Dag, Hay, Howitt, Ross, Macaulay, Luffy, and McCleary. Alan, what were your thoughts?
I expected a few changes to the team, so I wasn't particularly surprised. It was hard to guess who would be in, but it was a good lineup. I think the most important thing I saw when we started the game was we kept the same shape. We hadn't changed again, trying anything different. It was just a case of different personnel trying to get some minutes and legs. Jenna came back in, and had very little to do in truth in the game. Vic's been playing really well, but they'll both be feeling the pressure. Thelma was on the bench. We'd probably hoped that we would have seen her, but like Joe was saying pre-match, she's not quite ready yet. So she'll have a wee bit of time to settle in, and she'll just have come off playing a full season as well, I'm sure. So
yeah, Car. So we started as we do, slowly. And it took 21 minutes for us to finally get off the mark. Put down as a Mia Macaulay goal, but kind of dubious. Looked like an own goal.
Yeah, I'm giving it as an own goal. It took a massive deflection off the defender for Montrose. So, Mia cut in and took the shot, but she didn't put the ball in the back of the net. It took a deflection off the defender. But they want to give our players the goals, and that's fine, but it definitely wasn't her goal. But great work from Mia to go down that left-hand side and then cut inside and take the shot on. It's also nice to see players do that and not take 75 touches in the box and then they get booted away by a defender. So, yeah, good shot, but definitely an own goal.
Yeah, I think I agree with that one, but nice of them to give it to me. But I think even she was kind of never even celebrated that much because she was like, "That's not mine." So, yeah. We were trying really hard after that to get a second, Alan, but it came quite a bit later. On the 30-minute mark, Kirsty Howitt was kind of playing around at the edge of the box, got taken down, and penalty to Rangers.
Yeah, those three words that we all love so much, even heard it twice, no matter what game you were at today. So, the ball into the box probably played a bit far by, I think it was Camille to put the ball in. And get the fact that Kirsty Howitt got in front of the defender to actually win that ball was surprising, but where a defender just was caught cold or just didn't see her coming, tried to clear the ball and just took Kirsty's legs away from her. An easy decision for the ref. And with no Rio or Katie on the park, we were maybe wondering who was going to take it, but probably the fact that she was fouled gave Kirsty edge to get the ball and pick it up and put it past the keeper.
Yeah, good to see Kirsty getting on the score sheet as well, and then she was on the score sheet again a few minutes later. I can't remember if it was actually her goal or if it was another kind of deflected goal, but it was given to Kirsty, so I think she'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, Jane Ross does all the hard work here. She's on the edge of the box, takes the shot on. They're saying Kirsty jumped up, and it comes off her head last. I'm not entirely sure because I was looking at my watch at this point, so I'm not the best at this because I wasn't paying attention, which is my fault. But the highlights will come out and we'll be able to see. But they're saying Kirsty jumped, it came off her head last. So a double for Kirsty on the day.
Yeah, good for her confidence, and she has a confidence player, so hopefully that helps her kick on a bit. 3-0 at half time, Alan. I think that was quite fair, probably. We probably could have had a few more if we hadn't just played the ball about the box and back to Jenna about 50 times. So, what did you make of the first half in general?
Probably a wee bit timid, a wee bit slow. Jenna was probably getting frustrating a lot of fans by taking so long the ball, but there was nobody moving on the park. There was very little options open to Jenna other than just launching the ball up the park. So, I don't really think that was down to Jenna. I think that was a bit lethargy in the team. So we saw at half time Chelsea doing quite an extensive warm up. So we figured that she would come on, and tactical experts among us were all expecting it was going to be Jodie or maybe it was Camille that was going to come off or maybe Tess, but we got a surprise. It was Leah Eddy that came off for Chelsea.
Yeah, she came on and done what Chelsea does, cash. She terrorised the midfield and got on the score sheet. She was the one that scored next, which I missed, thanks to Graham, but we'll let that go.
She's busy talking about the £5 in the bag of crisps at that point. But we're not very good at this whole paying attention to a game when we're going to talk about it a few hours later. But never mind it. It was another short corner because we've seen him. We can't take any other kind of corner. But Brogan plays the ball up kind of into the box. Chelsea's there to header into the back of the net. So, as you say, she came on and absolutely terrorised the defence. I think she gave us a lot of energy in the midfield, which is great because we were lacking that severely before she came on, minus Camille, who was doing what she does and running about and doing all that sort of stuff. But good to see Chelsea back on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely. We also had a home debut for young Maycroft, Alan. She came on and settled straight in, as she done in the Dundee United game when she made her debut for us, but she seems quite a good wee player for somebody so young.
Yeah, and we were all impatient to see more of her after that Dundee United game, but we also probably have to remember that she is only 15 years old and we do need to show a bit of patience, but she's come on and just look confident. She's brave enough to take the ball. She's brave enough to go in for challenges and look to stay on her feet and take the ball off players who are much bigger than her, much more experienced than her, and she was able to take the ball under pressure and turn away and actually hold on to the ball and play passes. She wasn't intimidated at all by coming on and playing against the experienced pros, and she's not scared to have a shot from the edge of the box as well, which is really encouraging to see.
Yeah, she was being encouraged to by Joe, surprisingly, Car, but it seems it's only Nick that gets in trouble if she takes a shot from outside the box.
It seems to be, although I don't know, I think somebody else said that after the game. One of the players said that they didn't get shouted at by Joe for missing. Maybe Chelsea, I don't know, but
yeah.
Never mind. But May looks fantastic. She wants to go forward, which is exactly what I want, instead of constantly going back and giving the ball to Jenna when we don't need to do that. Quick on her feet, and as Alan said, held onto the ball well. There was about 3 players around her, managed to keep on to it and make the pass. So exactly what you're looking for. She is obviously only 15, but another talent that's been produced by our academy, which is exactly what you want to see.
Absolutely, and a young player that does wonderful things is young Mia McCauley, Alan. I think this will be one that she'll be watching back quite a few times, and we probably will as well.
Oh, definitely. It was some great player on the wing, and and the more sort of Mia watches it back, the more she'll be determined that she did actually mean this. You know, I very much do think it was a cross, but you know, it was in a really sort of dangerous area, and Norway players are often told, you know, make sure the cross is on target, and that way, if everybody misses it, there's always a chance it'll go in. You know, and it's just looked over a keeper who, typically for a keeper playing against Rangers, had an excellent game. So you know that was a bonus, and that was no question Mia's goal. Obviously, a bit of debate on the first one, which I think was generous to give to Mia, but this one was 100% Mia's.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no disputing that one. We pretty much emptied the bench, Car, other than Thelma. She was the only one that never got on. And then Rio does what Rio does. Got on the score sheet, 79 minutes. Just Rio does Rio things.
She does indeed. As you say, we emptied the bench at that point, everybody. But I mean, I don't know if Thelma probably would have came on. She was warming up quite intensely on the sidelines at that point, so maybe she did think she was going to get subbed as well. But Mia became from goal scorer to assister, played the ball, squared the ball to Rio, and she absolutely thumped this into the back of the net. She was making sure that it was going in, or if it missed, was breaking a window behind the goal. Either way, but it found the back of the net, so exactly like what you want. But Mia was absolutely terrorising them the whole game and was putting dangerous balls in. A lot of the time wasn't meeting anyone, but thankfully this one met Rio, who just absolutely smashed it into the back of the net.
Yeah, she'd been lucky just before that as well, that she nearly scored, and Joe had kind of said, "You're doing the right things, and keep going." And as Rio likes a goal, she always seems to get one. So it was good that she got the score sheet. Then obviously Wilco was on Alan, and Wilco always has to get the score sheet as well.
Yeah, you just expect Katie Wilkinson to score goals if she's playing. You know, I think it's probably that might be Katie on to 30 goals for a season.
Wow.
You know, all competitions, I think. But you know, Katie Wilkinson's been phenomenal for us since she came in the summer, and you know, it's pretty much a last kicky ball. You know, a bit of the ball breaking about in the box, and you know, Katie Wilkinson's going to love opportunities like that. So she finishes it off and puts a wee bit of extra gloss on the score.
Yeah, Kat, so it finished 7-0, and I think that's pretty much about what we were saying it was going to be. I think we were kind of between the 5, 6, 7 goal mark. So what we kind of expected probably could have been more on the day, but obviously the goalkeepers love playing against us and having some fantastic saves and goal line clearances. So happy with the 7-0.
Yeah, eventually. It took us long enough to get going, and I thought it was going to be one of those games where we struggled and defenders played a blinder and goalkeepers played a blinder. But thankfully, once we've scored a couple, we've settled into it and got into the rhythm, and we were all right. But could have been a lot more, but it doesn't matter. It's a Scottish Cup. You just need to get into the hat for the next round, and we did exactly that. So overall, fairly happy with it.
Yep. So a player of the match for you?
I had a wee look at the poll, obviously, we put up on Twitter, you know, and my choice was Camille. You know, I thought Mia was excellent, you know, not taking anything away, but I think Camille's grown into this team. You know, I think she's got a great engine on her. You know, we talk about size a lot, you know, but the fight she shows on the park, you know, the fact that she can take the ball and keep the ball under pressure, she's always looking to create and find spaces and find passes, you know, and I thought she did an excellent game today.
Yeah, I think I would go with Camille as well. She just seems to get battered about the pitch and just gets back up with a smile on her face and keeps going. Mia obviously had a brilliant game as well. She's just such a phenomenal player, but I think I would say Camille as well. Car, would you agree, or are you going with somebody completely different?
No, it's a hat trick for Camille today. I mean, it was tough between Mia and her and May, but apparently I can't give it to anybody that didn't play the full game. So unlucky May, you didn't get it.
Good. I said at the game you can do whatever you want.
No, I have to stick by the rules that were laid out for me at the start of the season. So it's fine. I don't mind giving it to Camille. She's a fantastic wee player, does everything right. You know, she's not scared to take a shot on. She's, you know, could play with a balloon in a phone box because I can't remember how that phrase it goes entirely correctly. But she's just fantastic, and she's honestly one I would love to keep for as long as she stay, if only we lived in a sunnier climate. But, be remiss of me not to mention the fact that she is sponsored by yourself, with the group in general, so fantastic to see. And it's not biased because we sponsor her, it's just because she's a Class B player.
Yeah.
And that is the last time you'll hear Car pick a player of the match not called Laura Berry for the rest of the season.
Exactly.
She's cup tied, so I mean, she can play today. So
I'm surprised you still never picked her anyway, but she's back, so made your week. So we're into the draw for the next round by quite a country mile. The draw is tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the Scottish Cup YouTube channel, and the other teams that are in the draw are Glasgow City, St Johnstone, Spartans, Aberdeen, Boroughmuir, Hearts, and Motherwell. So, anybody you'd like to get, Alan, or probably avoid?
Or probably avoid the drive up to Aberdeen, to be honest. But so we trip up to Perth and St Johnstone wouldn't be too bad, and give Joe a chance to stretch some legs that need minutes and take care of a game quite comfortably.
Car, anybody you would like or want to avoid?
I quite like St Johnstone just because we've not played them that I can ever remember, so it would be nice to see a different team. Obviously we had Inverness last season, 2 seasons ago, whatever it was, so it was obviously a different team, a different environment, so it would be interesting to see that, like how they set up, that kind of thing. I'd like to avoid City just purely for the fact that I'd like them to get further. That sounds mental that I'm saying that, but I would like that because that obviously eliminates some other teams along the way. But just not anyone too far away, to be honest. As long as it's not Aberdeen, I'll be all right.
Yeah, if Glasgow City can get Hearts, that will be quite nice, and they can fight amongst themselves who they're going to knock. So yeah, the draw's tomorrow, so we'll cover that next week. Next up, talking of Aberdeen, we have got them next at home again. You didn't get a game at home for long enough, and then you get 2 in a row. So play them next week, 2 o'clock. I had said to pretty much everybody at the game it was 1 o'clock, so don't arrive at 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Sorry about that. Tickets are on sale, so should be another good game, Alan. A chance to get some more minutes in players that haven't played as much, like Jodie and probably Tess will be staying in the team.
Yeah, I'd very much like to see us put Laura Berry straight in the team next week.
I was leaving that for Car. Come on.
I've just seen that to steal Car's thunder, but I think we've got a young player back who is absolutely flying. Aberdeen's a brilliant opportunity to blood her, and I'd like to see us put Thelma in goals. I don't think we've signed a keeper on a 2.5-year deal just to sit and be a squad player. So I'd like to see her start and get into the team as soon as possible. It's going to be a very, very tough last 4 months of the season, and I think Aberdeen have improved massively since the early part of the season. So, as much as it should be a very comfortable game for us, I think it will maybe be a wee bit tougher than maybe some will expect.
Yeah, Car, since Alan stole your thunder, do you want to talk about who you would put in the team, or should we already know?
I mean, just purely because I feel like maybe Wilco needs a bit of a rest. She could do with a day off, but she probably won't be happy about that because Laura Berry will probably come in and score a hat-trick and take some of her thunder away for her. And Laura's getting close to catching. I mean, I say getting close, there's about 10 or 12 goals in between them at the moment, but, it's a good opportunity to bring her back in, play her, because why would you bring her back and then not play her against the likes of Aberdeen? I'd like Jodie to keep her place because I thought she was excellent today. Obviously, Liv and Annie weren't on the bench today, so that's interesting. Hopefully, we knew Annie would be out because she's got an injury, but Liv, hopefully, it's just resting her because there's no point running her into the ground. So hopefully, maybe even May could start, to be honest, because I thought she was excellent today. Perfect opportunity. While Aberdeen have improved, they shouldn't really be a team that trouble us that much. So it's a perfect opportunity to get some minutes in the legs. But I mean, Laura's got to be the first name on the team sheet for me.
And she's already playing the match next week, so you can just watch it next week.
She might have a terrible game.
Score prediction, Alan?
We'll go 6-1. Laura Berry first goal.
Very well.
Tell my debut, but she's going to concede. So, Car, score prediction.
I'll go conservative. I'll go 4-0. Laura Berry hat trick. Rio.
I thought you were going to say 7-1, but 7 Laura Berry goals.
Wait, never know. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I'll go 4-0.
4-0. I think it would be the same as today, 7-0. It's going to be Laura Berry first goal scorer, eh? So see if she doesn't start next week. I might have to tell her. Absolutely wouldn't do that because she's terrified. But anyway, get your tickets now and obviously get along next week. 2 o'clock kickoff, not 1 o'clock. Car, did a little loan report for us?
I have. It was very difficult this week because some of the teams don't update because it was Scottish Cup action. It was on the SWPL website, so a lot of digging. I got there eventually. Obviously, Motherwell have only now got 1 loanee. Obviously, Ailey can't play. She was cup tied, so she couldn't play. So we do have 2, but it's just Sophie Black. She came on in the 57th minute and she scored their 6th and final goal. And they beat Bonnie Rose, if I could say their name correctly. Thanks for the updates, by the way, because Motherwell weren't given any, so thankfully they were updating as they went along. Hamilton were playing Aberdeen. They unfortunately lost, but Abby Tobin and Sophie Tinsley both started. Don't know how long they played. Don't know if they scored because, again, Hamilton didn't update that, so I have no idea. Christian Love was on the bench. Whether she came on.
They also lost, so they never scored.
Oh, no, yes, they didn't, yeah. I forgot what the score was. Correct. Anyway, moving on. Kilmarnock also lost to Spartans quite heavily, but Jess Linden played 90 minutes, which is good to see that she got the full game. Queen's Park weren't in cup action, but they had a midweek game against Celtic. Lily Boyce played 90 minutes, and Millie Payton played 60 minutes, I believe. And then Livingston had a game against Boroughmuir Thistle midweek. They also lost, so not a great roundup for our players this week. Mia and Summer both didn't play, so that's not great either. Obviously, Mia's come back now, but she was on the bench for that game but didn't play. And Gart Kieran haven't played since the 26th of January, so no update there.
Right. So tough week for the team.
Yeah, not great.
What is it? Defeats build resilience and all that. So at least they're still getting minutes.
I think the most important thing is they are getting minutes. You know, they're out on loan for their development. You know, and they need to be training and playing. So hopefully more minutes as the season goes on, and we'll do our best to keep track of the updates. You know, the club put out an update on the loan players through the week usually, but there's usually somebody missing one every week. So we'll do our best not to miss anybody, but you know, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll leave it there. Obviously, as I say, get your tickets for Aberdeen, watch the draw tomorrow and see who we get. We might be on a road trip very soon, like town near you. We'll see you next week. As always, thanks for joining me, Alan and Kat.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Alan.
No, thanks, team.
We'll see you next week.